Are you Matthew Aldridge?
I'm the attorney of fact for Matthew Aldridge.
You were what?
The attorney of fact.
Attorney what?
Of fact.
Attorney of fact. And what does that mean?
You know, his authorization to do legal representation.
Are you a licensed attorney?
No, I'm simply an attorney of fact.
Okay. And does that mean you have a power of attorney? What is your name? What is your name?
All right, guys. Today's court hearing is absolutely insane. We've got someone who's listed as Matthew Aldridge. At least that's what the paperwork says. But the guy at the podium is pulling the classic "I don't have a name" routine. He's calling himself the attorney in fact, which, let's be real, isn't even a legitimate legal role. Like most sovereign citizens, he's trying to argue that the court has no authority over him. But here's the truth. Courts have jurisdiction over anyone within their territory, no matter what legal fantasy someone wants to believe. And the judge? He's not having any of it. He absolutely shuts this guy down and schools him hard in the most epic way. Stick around for the ending. You'll want to see how the judge completely outsmarts him. Let's get into it.
You don't have a name? Pardon?
I'm the attorney of fact for the respondent mayor.
Well, let me explain to you. Only an attorney at law can stand in court and represent a criminal defendant. And to do so otherwise violates the criminal law statutes of the state of Tennessee and could land someone who attempts to represent themselves as an attorney at law in serious trouble. I understand what you're saying. I understand you're saying an attorney in fact. And what I want you to understand is that if you have a power of attorney, then you need to demonstrate that power of attorney. Do you have a legal document called a power of attorney?
No, I do not this time.
Okay. Then you don't have any authority to act on behalf of Matthew Aldridge in this court. You have no legal authority, nor do you have any authority through a legal document to represent or to act on behalf of Matthew Aldridge.
Why don't the court just let me file this document?
Show it to the bailiff and he'll show it to me. Apparently there's a copy here.
So get this. This guy is claiming to be an attorney in fact. And to prove it, he literally just handed the judge a random piece of paper. Now, I know you guys didn't see that part because it was kind of slow, but trust me, it was basically quoting some made-up law that supposedly gives him the right to represent Matthew Aldridge. For anyone wondering, real attorneys have to be licensed by the state and follow actual legal procedures. You can't just DIY your way into a courtroom with a piece of printer paper and call it law. But hey, that's classic sovereign citizen behavior. They love to argue about jurisdiction like declaring themselves above the law actually does something. Spoiler alert, it doesn't. Courts operate on well-established legal frameworks, not imaginary rules pulled from internet forums. And this judge? He's not here for the nonsense. Seriously though, are sovereign citizen cases actually becoming more common? Or am I just cursed to keep finding these bizarre courtroom circus acts? Let me know in the comments.
Aldridge has failed to appear personally in this court for the plea day on his case, which is set for trial tomorrow. And as a result, you have no standing, sir, under what I know what you're trying to do is to try to use the sovereign citizen approach to this situation. And I'm simply telling you that you do not have the right to represent Matthew Neal Aldridge. If you are in fact Matthew Neal Aldridge, then you need to say so and stop this nonsense, because what you're attempting to do has no legal effect. You cannot challenge the criminal law or the jurisdiction of this court by simply filing some legal mumbo jumbo having to do with civil litigation. That has civil litigation in it. It is not a criminal case that you have cited. So it has no effect on this court regarding the criminal statutes of this court. This court is empowered under the Constitution of the United States of America and the Constitution of the state of Tennessee, and by the duly elected citizens of Cheatham County to empower and enforce the laws of the state of Tennessee. And that is what I'm going to do regarding Matthew Lynn Aldridge. Mr. Aldridge is set for today to appear in court personally on what we call our last plea day before his trial date tomorrow.
Question. Is that an article 3 trial?
To what?
Will that be an article 3 trial? A trial by jury with jury?
It would be a trial by jury, certainly it would be. But I don't know who you are. And I don't think you have any authority if you are not Matthew Lynn Aldridge to appear before this court. And you are wasting valuable time to all of these other citizens who are here today. So when I'm talking, you stop talking. No, you will when I'm finished talking. You are wasting the court's time by doing this, and I'm just simply instructing you that if you are in fact Matthew Lynn Aldridge, then this is your last day to settle your case. The trial date is set for tomorrow, and unfortunately, it will not go forward because of the fact that I have a conflict and I have to be in Stewart County on a civil matter. So we're going to assign a new trial date for Matthew Lynn Aldridge. All right. To Matthew Aldridge and the individual standing before me whose name must not be uttered.
This judge handled the whole thing like an absolute pro. Seriously, he stayed calm and collected while shutting this guy down at every turn. The so-called attorney-in-fact barely got a word in before the judge completely dismantled his nonsense, piece by piece. It kind of felt like the judge took this personally. Or maybe he's just dealt with enough of these sovereign citizen types to know exactly how to shut it down fast. Especially when the guy started quoting his little made-up laws. You could tell the judge wasn't going to entertain it for even a second. And, honestly, one of the funniest moments? When the judge said the guy can't even utter his own name. That cracked me up. Most judges try to stay super stoic, but you could see he was holding back a smirk. From the very start, it was clear this judge wasn't about to waste time on this courtroom circus. And honestly, it just proves how pointless and ridiculous these sovereign citizen stunts really are.
Trial date for Mr. Aldridge. Whatever this document is that you have filed is in fact invalid because it does not cite any valid criminal statute, and therefore I'm denying whatever that might be in the way of a motion. The trial date will be July 15th. The last day for Mr. Aldridge to enter a plea or go to trial will be July the 8th. July the 8th. Now, we're going to give you a card. If you are in fact Matthew Aldridge and you're just playing games with the court regarding this nonsense that you filed, then you may get this card and you may go on about your business. If you are not Matthew Aldridge, then I would suggest to you, you relay to Mr. Aldridge that he must appear on July the 8th, or a bond revocation will take place, and his case will be will take place with him in jail, incarcerated on the 15th. That's the judgment of the court. You need to take your piece of paper and go on about your business.
Sovereign citizens are truly something else. These are people who believe they can just opt out of the legal system by claiming they don't recognize the government's authority. You'll hear them ramble about things like common law or the UCC. That's the Uniform Commercial Code, but they completely misunderstand how any of that actually works. Just to be clear, courts operate under federal, state, and local laws that have been around for centuries and are backed by the Constitution. There's no magical loophole that lets you decide the rules don't apply to you. Yet these folks still show up in courtrooms with their bizarre arguments, wasting everyone's time and walking away with nothing but a criminal record. Legally speaking, their entire defense collapses because of one thing: jurisdiction. Courts have authority over anyone within their geographic area, period. These legal fantasies might sound clever in their echo chambers, but judges? They've seen it all. And they're not here to entertain nonsense. In fact, trying to use these tactics to dodge taxes or get out of a speeding ticket can actually backfire. You can end up with even harsher penalties for wasting the court's time. Honestly, I don't get why people keep trying this. Do they think they're outsmarting the system? Or is it just some weird form of rebellion? Either way, it's not fighting the system. It's just making a fool of yourself. Anyway, guys, that's gonna wrap up today's breakdown. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to like, subscribe, and drop your thoughts on sovereign citizens in the comments below. Thanks for watching, and take care.